Have you ever wondered what happens when the sturdy pillars of the American dream, steady job, family home, and a shot at the good life collapse in a single, unforgiving instant, leaving a man to question if he'll ever stand tall again? In the shadow of Detroit's towering skyline, where the ghosts of booming auto empires linger amid crumbling factories, Alex Thompson clutched his pink slip on a drizzly March morning in 2018. For 12 solid years, he'd welded frames on the assembly line at the plant, pulling in $45,000 annually, enough to swing the $800 monthly rent on their snug two-bedroom in Hamtramck, stock the fridge from the local Kroger, and squirrel away bits for his daughter Mia's future college fund. At 38, Alex embodied the blue-collar grit that built America: calloused hands, early shifts starting at 6 a.m., and an unshakable belief that loyalty and sweat equity guaranteed security. But that day, the layoffs swept through like a storm, axing 1,200 workers in one fell swoop. As rain pattered on his windshield during the drive home, Alex's mind churned with dread. How could he face Sarah, his wife of 10 years, who slung plates at a diner on night shifts? Or Mia, their 8-year-old with dreams of twirling in ballet classes? The stakes loomed immense. Not just a paycheck lost, but the fragile thread holding their family intact. He pulled into the driveway, heart pounding, unaware that this was merely the first tremor in an earthquake about to bury him deeper than he could imagine. Alex's life before the fall had been a rhythm of reliability, the kind that defined working-class America. Each weekday, he'd rise at 5 a.m., brew coffee in their cluttered kitchen, and kiss Sarah goodbye as she returned from her graveyard shift, smelling of grease and coffee. Mia would stir soon after, her backpack slung over one shoulder for the bus to Hamtramck Elementary, where she excelled in art but yearned for those $50 a month ballet lessons they promised. Soon, weekends meant barbecues in Belle Isle Park, grilling burgers while watching freighters glide down the Detroit River, or catching Tigers games on TV with cheap beers from the corner store. Alex's certifications in welding and forklift operation had seemed bulletproof. He'd even turned down a risky side gig years back, convinced the plant was his forever home. But cracks appeared fast. Post-layoff, he hit the job trail hard, trekking to temp agencies in downtown Detroit, polishing his resume on the free computers at the Detroit Public Library's main branch on Woodward Avenue. Sarah ramped up her hours, her feet aching from 12-hour stints, but their combined scraps barely covered the $1,200 in back rent by May. Credit cards swelled to $5,000, maxed out on essentials, like Mia's school supplies, and car repairs for Sarah's aging Honda Civic. Tensions simmered in their dim living room, whispered fights over bills, Alex's growing frustration at rejection emails, piling up like junk mail. He scored a warehouse spot in Warren at $15 an hour, hauling crates that strained his back. But 2 weeks in, a sharp twinge from lifting sent him to the ER. Workers' Comp rejected his claim, blaming pre-existing wear and tear. As July's eviction notice arrived, taped harshly to their door, Alex stared at the paper, his world tilting. They packed what fit into the Civic, Mia clutching her stuffed bear in the back seat, tears streaking her face. Parking lots near the river became their nightly refuge, the city's lights mocking their darkness. But as summer faded, Alex wondered, could this nomadic limbo spiral into something irreparable, or was there a way back? The descent accelerated with brutal force. By late summer, the Civic's confines grew. Stifling arguments erupted over trivialities, like whose turn it was to fetch water from public fountains. Mia's whimpers echoed in the night, her schoolwork suffering as they shuttled between lots to avoid tickets. Alex scavenged for recyclables, trudging 2 miles daily to dumpsters behind strip malls, cashing in cans at 5 cents apiece for meager $20 hauls that bought gas station sandwiches. Hope flickered with interviews, 47 applications submitted that fall, from construction sites to fast food counters, but rejections poured in, no stable address. Can't risk it. One gas station job lasted 3 days before exhaustion led to a nap on shift, earning him a swift boot. November's chill bit hard, temperatures plunging to 15 degrees Fahrenheit, the car's heater failing amid frost-coated windows. Sarah, her eyes hollow from worry, bundled Mia and drove to her sister's in Ann Arbor, leaving Alex a crumpled note. "We need stability. I'm sorry." Divorce papers followed via mail, shredding what remained of his spirit. Alone now, he sought beds at the Detroit Rescue Mission, where the air hung heavy with desperation, but overflow nights forced him under the Ambassador Bridge, the ceaseless hum of traffic overhead, a cruel lullaby. Whiskey became his crutch, cheap bottles from liquor stores dulled the ache, but hangovers amplified the shame. Panhandling on Woodward Avenue marked his nadir. Signs scrawled, "Veteran down on luck, anything helps," though he'd never enlisted. Quarters clinking into a cup while pitying glances burned. Snow blanketed the city by December 2019, mirroring the frost in his soul. Feverish and forsaken, Alex shuffled through blizzards, his boots leaking, questioning if survival was worth the fight. Yet, in that frozen haze, a faint light beckoned, a community center in Corktown offering free meals. As he pushed open the door, warmth enveloping him, he overheard voices that might just alter his fate, but would he seize the moment, or let despair claim him fully? The path upward began in fragments, each step a battle against inertia. That December evening in Corktown, amid the hum of fluorescent lights and clatter of trays, Alex lingered after his meal of stew and bread. Marcus Hale, a burly ex-vet with a scar across his cheek, commanded the room with his story. From sleeping rough after Iraq to self-teaching code on library terminals, birthing an app, linking shelters to donors. "Rock bottom ain't the end," Marcus declared, his voice gravelly yet inspiring. "It's where you plant your flag and climb." Alex approached afterward, voice cracking. "How do I start?" Marcus pressed a flyer into his palm-free Code Academy courses and urged, "One line of code at a time." Under a street lamp's glow, snowflakes swirling, Alex stared at the paper. This was it, his vow to sobriety and reinvention. But old demons lurked. Could he outrun them? Dawn broke early the next day, Alex rising at 5 a.m. From his makeshift spot, trekking 2 miles through slush to the Detroit Public Library. He claimed a terminal, fingers stiff, plunging into HTML basics. Hours melted away, 8 daily, fueled by black coffee from a thermos and peanut butter sandwiches from Food Bank. Week 1 yielded a glitchy web page, bugs frustrating him to near tears. But he persisted, deleting and rewriting. Sobriety tested him. Twice he bought bottles, only to dump them in the river, Mia's image stealing his resolve. By month 3, he'd conquered 12 Codecademy tracks, but application loomed. On Upwork, 20 proposals vanished into silence. The 21st snagged a $50 gig tweaking a site. Triumph surged, yet realities bit. $300 in library fines for borrowed books, plus scavenging for recyclables to scrape by. Spring 2020 brought classes at a Dearborn Community College, biking 10 miles each way on a salvaged rusty frame, rain soaking him through. Then COVID struck, shuttering libraries in March, forcing hotspot sessions from park benches amid lockdown. In a tent under an overpass, masked against the virus, Alex iterated on StreetLink, an app mapping resources for the homeless. Beta tests with sheltermates exposed flaws, slow loads on budget phones. He fixed them obsessively, logging 14-hour days, delivering groceries on foot for $8 an hour to eat. 35 app submissions rejected for tech glitches. One fevered night, isolation clawing. He nearly erased it all. Marcus's call reignited him. Adapt, don't fold. Refinements followed, user feedback integrated. By June, StreetLink launched on Google Play, 50 downloads trickling in week 1. He flyered missions, walking 15 miles daily, body aching but spirit stirring. As downloads hit 1,000 after a local news blip in July, Alex bought a used laptop with $500 in donations. Fall 2021 approached, partnerships with nonprofits budding. But would this momentum hold or shatter like before? The turning point crystallized in October 2021 when an Ann Arbor venture accelerator spotted StreetLink on a tech forum. Heart racing, Alex bussed 40 miles, donning a thrift shop suit, pitching in a sleek conference room. This isn't code, it's lifelines for the lost. They bought in, seeding $50,000. Funds flowed. A modest office in Detroit's Eastern Market, 2 hires from shelters. Revenue climbed, premium tools for orgs yielding $10,000 monthly by year's end. A 2023 data breach cost $20,000 in repairs, shaking trust, but Alex's transparent fixes rebuilt it stronger. StreetLink exploded nationally, amassing 100,000 users by 2022, revenue topping $2 million annually. Awards cascaded. Crane's Detroit Entrepreneur of the Year. Mia, now 13, cheered at his TEDx talk in Grand Rapids, where he touted metrics, from streets to screens, aiding 500,000 souls. Reconnected with Sarah. Weekends mended bonds in Ferndale parks. They bought a home, Mia thriving. Success, forged over 1,095 grinding days, felt earned, not gifted. Alex's transformation ran deeper than metrics. No longer the shattered figure under bridges, he stood resilient, scars mapping his growth. Gratitude swelled for Marcus's spark, library sanctuaries, even failures that honed his edge. He mentored at Corktown Center, teaching code to 50 kids yearly, endowing $10,000 scholarships. Volunteering, he distributed 1,000 preloaded phones to the unhoused. StreetLink glowing on screens. Media spotlights, like a New York Times feature, rippled his tale, spawning similar apps. Humility grounded him. Daily journals revisited that 2018 pink slip, reminding him of fragility. Overlooking Detroit's horizon from his office, Alex marveled at the arc from despair to dominion. And so, in the quiet pulse of a city reborn, Alex's journey echoes a universal truth. Adversity isn't a sentence, but a setup for comeback. If a Detroit welder can code from gutters to glory, enduring 100 rejections and 2,000 self-study hours, what's your excuse? Start today. A course, a step, a spark. Comment day 1 if this is your beginning. The future beyond dreams is yours to build.